We have Portland Police Chief Bob Day joining us live right now to talk about this police response. Chief Day, thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, you bet. Good morning.
Good morning. Great. What can you tell us about the operation right now? Again, we do know that Portland Police is inside the Portland State University Library. What can you tell us about where the operation stands and what the next step is as we move forward here?
Yeah, so thanks for the opportunity. As you're aware, we've been working with Portland State very closely over the last several days. And based upon their request for assistance in cooperation with their police department, we began the securing of the library this morning. And I think it was mentioned earlier, it's a very methodical, planned approach, just going floor by floor. We have been consistently messaging overnight and in these early morning hours, encouraging people to leave the library, making sure that everyone inside knows that the library is closed. Portland State took the lead on that. We appreciate their support and cooperation and been very clear about that. We've also created a large perimeter around the property, asking people to stay out of the way, to not come down, and to make sure they stay outside the tape so that we can create a secure environment for everyone. And we're prepared to take the amount of time that's needed to just do this in a safe, methodical way for everyone involved.
Chief, you said earlier this week that time can be a de-escalation tactic and that, in fact, earlier plans to potentially engage with some of these demonstrators were stalled as those talks were continuing. Was this morning's efforts planned well in advance, or were there specific events in the last 24 hours that really precipitated this response?
Well, we've been making plans consistently since the library was first breached over on Monday. So in terms of timing, you're exactly right. We wanted to do everything as possible to not reach this point, quite frankly. People had plenty of opportunities to leave. I certainly empathize with the fact that all of us have deeply held beliefs and are bothered by the events in Gaza and other places around the world that we see, or maybe social justice issues here at home. But the reality is that this really quickly changed from being a public order or a protest type event to criminal behavior, as already demonstrated by a lot of the video we've seen come out of the library and around the library. So we've been approaching this as a criminal event and, making sure that we have the resources in place. Once again, life safety being paramount for all of us, and community, protesters, observers, police officers, etc.
I have two questions, Chief, which is one, how much of a factor was some of the violence that we saw last night with, demonstrators smashing windows and throwing chairs at buildings a factor in the decision to act here this morning? And are you concerned at all about demonstrators on site right now reacting in a violent manner?
Yeah, so last night's events downtown were just really a tragedy, and saddens me to see the unwillingness for folks to be able to exercise their First Amendment rights in a way that gets their message out, but also protects the rights of others. So greatly disappointed at the events of last night. As related to this morning, these are separate events. I mean, police work is always fluid, always has to be adaptable. And so we are constantly evaluating each incident. We're not naive to the fact that one can lead to the other, but we try to take them individually so that we can properly prepare and, once again, provide that level of safety. And last night was extremely challenging. It was very fluid and it happened very quickly. So we are doing extensive follow-up today with investigators to try and make a determination if we can make arrests and et cetera. But I look at these as separate at this point.
Chief, while we have you this morning, anything you can speak to about the other story that we're following from overnight? 15 PPB cruisers set on fire at the training facility in North Portland. Where does that investigation stand? Do you have any indication that it's connected to the demonstrations at PSU?
Yeah, at this point, it's an ongoing investigation. We're working closely with Portland Fire and our Arson investigation team. I just can't stress enough that, all eyes are on Portland, not just because of the events of 20 and 21, but just really, what's going on around the country is gaining a lot of attention, rightly so. And people are really curious to see how Portland's going to show up. And last night's assault on the train division and on the vehicles, really disappointing, absolutely unacceptable. I will tell you, I've been grateful and encouraged by neighboring agencies and the state of Oregon Department of Public Safety Standards and Training that's already stepped up and offered us vehicles, replacement vehicles, so we can continue to train. And in regards to, the connection with the events out at the library today or downtown last night or out at the train division, as I said, we look at these as separate events, but we're also not ignoring the fact that there could be some connection, and we will have, all investigators working together to make a determination on that.
All right. Well, Portland Police Chief Bob Day, again, really appreciate you taking the time to join us live here on KOIN News AM Extra. It's important that we get the chance to talk to you, and I appreciate you making yourself available to us here this morning.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.